Happy New Year! Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Maayong adlaw sa inyong tanan. And maupay na adlaw ha iyo nga tanan. Buenos dias. In other words, good day everyone. As we welcome the year of the fire horse, may it be inspire us to embrace new opportunities, to cultivate gratitude and experience abundance blessing in every aspects of our lives. I asked Copilot, one of the GenAI, to describe the year of the fire horse. This is the answer. The horse symbolizes energy, freedom, strength, and forward momentum. The fire elements adds intensity, passion, creativity, making 2026 a year associated with bold decisions, rapid progress, and great momentum. Are you ready for the year 2026? Welcome to Wellness Waves, sponsored by AAPINA-NV. Join us as we dive deep into empowering, advocating, and amplifying the voices of the Asian American Pacific Islander here in Nevada, powered with our main sponsor, PHLV Radio. And by the way, congratulations to PHLV Radio for the Radio Journalism Award. Yay! Congratulations! Get ready to ride the waves on how nurses and our community partners are making an impact in the state of Nevada, one caring heart at a time. Let's catch some wellness waves together as we talk freely about everything that would lead us to a healthier lifestyles in terms of physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, and financial well-being. My name is Zarah Borines, Zarah Gayrama Borines, a registered nurse, a founding member of the past president of AAPINA-NV. I am also an assistant professor at Nevada State University and one of the Caritas coaches and leaders trained by Watson Caring Science Institute. Joining me as a host today is the current president of AAPINA, Miss Marilou Williams. So Marilou is also the Market Director of Quality and Patient Safety and Risk at Dignity Health at St. Rose Dominican Hospital. Marilou, please introduce yourself. How are you in 2026?
Hi, hello everyone. I'm doing well and I'm ready for 2026, ready to serve and lead our community of nurses and our community here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So
Yes.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, thank you. I'm so
For having me.
excited, of course. We're going to go educate our community today. But our topic is really great. You know, this is about generative AI. You know that this is an artificial intelligence. That's what we're talking about today. It is mostly like a computer system that mimic human cognitive functions. That is globally embraced. Right? I am so excited because every one of us are affected about this. So without further ado, Miss Marilou, please introduce our special guest for today.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce our very special guest for today, Dr. Sierra Adare-Tasiwoopa. She is the Instructional Technologist in the Center for Teaching and Learning Excellence at Nevada State University. In addition, conducting workshop and panel discussion on generative AI in higher education, she has presented interactive session on course gamification, escape rooms, role-playing games, and storytelling at regional, international, or national and international conferences. She is the editor and a contributing author for Gamifier College Classroom, Strategies to Foster Critical Thinking and Life Skill Across Discipline, and author of Gamifying AI in Higher Education, Teaching Generative Artificial Intelligence Fluency.
Yes. Very good, man.
Thank
That
you.
is so cool.
She is cool.
Yes. So, Miss Sierra, welcome to our program today. Do you have anything to add with our introduction?
I'm excited to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. And I can talk all day about gamifying AI. Trust me.
And we are so excited to hear from you. But actually, I've been a student of Dr. Sierra. So, and I will just, explain things in here on how I get some of the points that she gave to us, in Nevada State University. She's our trainer. So then my first question is, so how will you describe Gen AI in a simple term? So at least people could understand what is it all about.
It can be complicated, and to kind of simplify it, it goes back to artificial intelligence, AI, being able to recognize speech, to make decisions, and also to analyze data. Then machine language kind of is a subset of AI, and it was trained on large amounts of data, and it improves over time. So therefore, as an example, you can teach it to identify pneumonia in x-rays because it has trained on thousands, and I do mean thousands, of labeled images.
Wow.
So, but it needs that kind of training to be able to accurately predict something like this is pneumonia instead of something else.
Yeah.
Now, when you get into Gen AI, generative AI, it's artificial intelligence, but it generates text. It generates images, also summarizes data. And so, in simple terms, it is like an advanced auto completion.
Wow.
Where it will draft things very quickly. It can be very useful, but it doesn't truly understand patients or clinical realities
There you go.
in a way that nurses do. So there always has to be this human that stays in the loop with it.
Wow. That's amazing. They still need us no matter what, right?
Yes.
Because I heard someone that I will go for master's degree. I have to go my, nurse practitioner because GPT is there for me. But actually, they still need us, the humans.
Definitely.
All right.
We can't leave it up to them.
Exactly. I just love it. All right. Miss Marilou?
Oh, hi, Dr. Sierra. My question is, how can generative AI be leveraged to improve access to health information and wellness resources for the diverse community?
Well, generative AI helps people access health information by presenting it in a form that actually works best for the individual or the caregiver. It can rewrite health educational materials very quickly, put it into plain language, put it at a reading level for the patient or the caregiver, or both. It can also translate into an amazing number of languages. So, say, for example, you have a patient that only speaks Vietnamese.
That's right.
And so you can instantly translate those discharge instructions into Vietnamese so that the patient can understand what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So that's one of the great things that Gen AI is very good at doing. However, you also have to think about the way that you can use it or leverage it to make things that are appropriate for age levels. For example, for an older adult, they may want their instructions in a step-by-step kind of guide, whereas younger adults, Gen Zs or millennials, they are more interested in short conversational kinds of information. So Gen AI can tailor it to whatever the needs are for the patient and the caregiver, family members, everybody.
Wow.
So that's one of the really best leverages of generative AI. Then also, it's great as an application for streamlining workflows.
Yeah.
For example, a nurse who's taking notes, and we know that nurses have way more to do than they really have time for. So generative AI can actually listen to the patient and take notes in real time that then the nurse has to just review rather than doing the whole thing herself.
That's right.
So that's one of the best things as far as using generative AI in healthcare.
Yeah. But you're right. you need to make sure that you would review the things of AI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think the nurses at bedside are using AI now at this time? They
Not
do?
at this time, but the hospital, they have a lot of application that integrated AI or generative AI technologies. And yeah, with their presentation data, doing that, but not yet at bedside, but I'm not surprised if it's coming up soon.
Yeah,
Very
I think
soon.
I saw it. I was scanning about making notes at the hospital setting. There were some nurses doing it already. So they have to chat. They will just, get their voices and then they review it. And then 2 minutes, they're done with their charting. They go back and do the bedside care. That's amazing. But as Shara said, we need to make sure that we will review it.
Yeah,
Make
I
sure that everything
apologize.
is
I'm just
correct.
referring to the Las Vegas hospital. I didn't hear anything yet, right?
Yeah. Maybe we're coming through, right?
Yes,
It's
yeah.
coming through. So, all right. So, my next question is what ethical considerations should we address when deploying Gen AI powered tools in community, school, and hospital settings?
Well, ethical use starts with privacy.
Yeah.
We all have to, be concerned that we don't have any HIPAA violations.
Yep.
But beyond that, you have to consider the information that's being put in about patients. It needs to be put into a system that protects the health data. So just using generative AI that's, on the open market, no.
No.
Yeah, you have to be sure that it's something that is not going to be a HIPAA violation.
Yeah.
Then another concern, of course, is accuracy. As good as GenAI has become,
Yeah.
it's still a concern about accuracy, and it does still produce information that sounds amazingly confident and authoritative, but is incorrect.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind and keep the human in the loop. That is essential. Equity is another matter. Unfortunately, based on what all of the Gen AI have been trained on, their large language models, they can introduce biases
Yeah.
and stereotype that
right.
tends to marginalize healthcare of certain communities.
Yeah.
Based on culture and language differences. So it wants to homogenize everything.
Yeah.
And so you have to be very conscious of the fact that it does produce biased content, and you have to be going through it carefully to ensure that all of that is removed.
Yeah.
So that is a very big concern. So is transparency. Yes. With transparency, it's important that people know that generative AI is involved in whatever capacity that it is, and also to ensure that there is, once again, the human in the loop who is being accountable for that final message or that final decision. You don't want to leave any of that up to Gen AI. Ethical and practical challenges must be managed very carefully. So it's great to use. It saves a lot of time, but you have to be sure that you are carefully going through whatever it gives you.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a big deal. Those are big words. So I was hearing about privacy, right? Privacy, accuracy, which a lot of this AI, I noticed because I've been using AI as well. There's some hallucinations in it. So not everything that they're saying are correct. So I love this accuracy part of it.
Yeah.
And then transparency, oh my goodness, and equitable to everyone. Those are big things. So we really have to make sure that we are following through what we have to do with this Gen AI. Do you think having some policies and procedures or like most probably guidelines in school settings is essential at this time? Do you believe in that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We need to have policies in place. We need to ethically teach students how to use generative AI so that when they get out into the workplace, number one, they're going to be expected to know how to use it.
Yeah.
And number two, the workplace isn't going to be training them on how to use it ethically and responsibly. That's our job as educators.
Wow.
We need to prepare them for the workplace and to prepare them to understand when it's good to use generative AI and when it's not good to use it.
Mm-hmm.
We know how to use the tools, know when to use the tools.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit scared of this year.
I don't mean to scare anybody, but I tend to think
Just
of it
be
kind
informed.
of. I don't know if you remember the Kenny Rogers song, "The Gambler."
Yeah, yeah.
You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Well, the same thing applies to generative AI.
I think you got the point.
I can remember that. That's a good one. Okay, well, my next question, I'm going to go back to the hospital setting, and I heard you mention earlier regarding the workflow. So how can hospital staff be trained to effectively integrate generative AI technologies into daily workflows without compromising patient safety and quality of care?
Well, safe training approaches really should be the focus for faculty and for staff in hospitals. To appropriately use things like case studies and instill good habits in your workforce. And then don't expect everybody to be an AI expert.
Yeah.
I mean, even as fluent as students are that are going into the workplace now and knowing how to use AI, don't expect them to be the expert right off the bat. I suggest have teams that start with kind of low stake things, like summarizing policies or creating patient materials, creating templates to be used, and then have them practice looking at that information and comparing it and finding the accuracy, or if it's not accurate, to make it accurate. So train them in how to make sure that the outputs of GenAI are actually trustworthy. That's one of the key things to do. Then training should also be clear about how and how not to use GenAI, as we were talking about before. You should never use it for diagnosis. Leave it up to it to diagnose things, or to triage, or for medical dosing. This is things where, the human has to be there for these.
That's right.
Now, it can augment, like learning how to read the x-rays to identify things like pneumonia, which is great. But you still have to have the doctors and the nurses that are looking at it, kind of looking over the shoulder, making sure that what it's suggesting, what AI is suggesting, is actually accurate.
Yeah.
So
That's a
the
good
end
point.
goal needs to be to keep the humans, keep the nurses, ensuring accuracy and safety, and are being the people who are the primary patient-centered caregivers.
Wow. I think
Thank you. That's a great information, and it's a kind of guidelines for us when we're using the generative AI.
yeah. And I think we had this before. One of the PNA's a presentation before, we had a doctors, I think a radiologist, who even told us that they're using Gen AI to diagnose, not really diagnose, they're using Gen AI as a tool to help them diagnose fractures that is really cannot be seen by the naked eyes. So what we can see here, the Gen AI could magnify it 10 times. So I hear that from one of the radiologists, like, wow. But they are not definite. So the eye of the doctor should be there still, just to make sure that what they're seeing is correct. So, and I would agree with Sarah, 110%.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's just like, it's very addicting, because it's an easy facts, but at least you human beings, you need to interact with it. Yeah. So, all right. So moving forward, I think the next question is, we're just looking at in the hospital. We're done with the hospital setting. I'll bring you back to the school. So what are the potential benefits and risks of Gen AI to personalized learning experiences? And just remember, when we talk of Gen AI, there's a lot of things that we are talking about. So Copilot is the Gen AI for Microsoft. We also have Gemini for Google. We have the Kanmigo for Khan Academy. And then I also know about, of course, the Chat GPT, which is version 5 now or version 6?
It's 5.2 now. Wow. 5.2 came out like 2 weeks after 5.1.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yes, it's evolving very, very quickly.
They are so fast now. I guess 5.2 is faster than ChatGPT 1, that's for sure. But these are some of the common, ChatGPTs or Gen AI that the students are using. Because I ask them, what are the chats, like aside from ChatGPT, what are the different Gen AI that they usually? So how can they use this to leverage their self-learning?
Well, Gen AI can definitely benefit students by giving explanations in different ways, offering extra practice, case scenarios that can help them work through problems, providing feedback that can help them with studying more efficiently and effectively. However, on the flip side, you've got risks such as the inaccuracy problems and the hallucinations, which they still, as good as they have gotten, they still have this capacity to basically fib. and one thing that I have learned is you definitely, when you're putting a prompt into any of the Gen AI tools, that you tell it that straight out, if you don't know the answer to this, do not make it up. Tell me that you don't know it. Which is fine. And they so want to please us. which can be a real problem. Which is why they will make things up, because they want to give you that answer. They want to please you to be sure that you get whatever you've asked for. But that's why you have to be very clear with it that if you don't know the answer, don't make anything up, because that can lead to real harm. And some other risks are involved with. You can't let it make decisions for you. Don't rely on it. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of faculty worry about is the students relying too much on Gen AI, too much of just taking at whatever it puts out at face value.
That's correct,
and not doing that necessary critique and analysis of what it is producing. So as long as they understand those kind of components, that's all part of generative AI fluency, knowing that they have to verify things, also to ensure that they don't put any kind of private information in.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Particularly since students tend to use the free versions, which will be used to train, and it also will be out there in places that we have no idea of where it could end up, because they're not real transparent about how Gen AI works, or what it was trained on, or what it has the capacity to have available in places that we don't really know that it's putting your data. So always be very, very cautious about what you put into it. And then there's copyright issues of when you put your paper in for Gen AI to grammar check it or fact check it or whatever that you've asked it to do, you've just lost your copyright to it, because then it gets absorbed into things. And so you have to be very careful about that.
That's wow.
And right now there's a lawsuit brought by several publishers against Anthropic, which is the parent of Claude, for it getting into library databases, and downloading all of the books that it did
I
not
hear
have the
this.
right to do, and so it was copyright infringement. And there is class action lawsuits. In fact, I'm involved in one of them because one of my books was
there.
actually in that database and was inputted into Claude for training.
Oh,
Yeah, so
wow. That's a big deal.
yes, it is. So that's things to concern yourself with when you're interacting with generative AI, or on the faculty side, being sure that you don't upload anything that would be stealing your
student.
intellectual property rights, or that any books or articles or things that you put in there are stuff that are either OER or open access. Nothing that's copyrighted.
Okay. Wow, I'm learning. It's just wow. So, I'm just gonna go back to when you say private information that we're not supposed to be. What are the things that you are intentionally telling us? So, what are those private information, basically?
Don't put anything that could really identify who you are. And certainly not putting in things like social security
There you
numbers
go,
or
social
phone
security,
numbers,
okay.
or any kind of information like birthdays or
Address?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Any of that stuff. Or if you're putting in a paper for it to help tighten up the grammar or anything like that, be sure that you don't have your name or anything that could actually in weird ways be pieced together to associate what who you are, so that it could actually figure out who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I see this sometimes, because I've been asking some students, and I could see also some of their works. So I could identify that something is wrong because the thought process when they write some essay, in between it messes up. So this is the flow. They're talking about an egg, and at the end they will be talking about a different animal. So if they will not see this, we professor can see it. So that's why I agree with you, Sierra, that despite of the fact that it's ready for them, they need to read the flow. They need to read the content of what they're talking about. Because if they give it to us freely, it will be a lot of mess. Yes, but we can justify that, but we could see the flow, we could see the consistency of the work of the students. And from the student point of view, I also ask some of the students, they use this in doing their study guides. They're asking ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini to give them some questions so they will be more equipped with the concepts. So those are the good things. But just taking it, the face value of what they got is not good.
True.
Yeah,
And
agree with
one
me?
thing to keep in mind with it is it steals your voice,
Yeah.
because it wants to homogenize everything and make it all sound like what it is that it was trained on, which unfortunately is Western white males.
Yeah.
And so that's my question to students, that they think it's a wonderful shortcut. Well, why do you want to give up your voice?
That's right.
Why do you want it to remake you? And so that's something to ask your students, and to get them aware of the fact that it will steal your voice. It will turn it into something that you're not.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard some of this, but now it's enhancing what I learned. So basically what we're trying to get here is we're using this Gen AI to help us as a tool. It's not like we're following what ChatGPT or Copilot is telling us. We still have there to give them prompts, and from the prompts, they could also, add more questions and more inquisitive things in order to come up to the right answer. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
The better you can make your prompts, the more likely you're going to get not only a better output that's more what you're looking for, but also something that's more accurate. So teaching prompt engineering is a tremendous part of being able to get students at a level to where they will get what they're looking for, and it will not rob them of their voice, but also that knowing going in that they're going to have to iterate, that they're going to have to take what ChatGPT or any of the other Gen AIs give them and then ask more questions or tell it to refine things or to work on this area where it's not giving you what you asked for. And then also to be sure that it's accurate, you have to do your fact checking. There's no getting around that part.
Yep. And I just love it, Marilou, because as I said earlier, I'm the student of Zarah. So there was one activity that we had to give prompts, and then the prompts will be given exactly what it is, and then we give it to different Gen AI, and they will come back to us with different answers. Different answers.
Yes.
So then I also this part of activity, I give it to the student as well. So at least they would see it. I'm not just saying it, they could experience it. And exactly, they said, oh, they are not the same. It's exactly, they are not the same. Every answer that the Gen AI will give you will be different every time you ask them the same question.
Yes. And that's, I think, the best thing you could do is have the students discover this for themselves.
There you go.
Because you can tell them this all day long. It's just going to go in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
But if they're actually working with it and being able to say, wait a minute, these are, it's the same prompt, two different ones,
That's
or
right.
same prompt to the same one, you're going to get two completely different answers.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that them actually working through the problem on their own with the generative AI is the best teaching tool for getting them to understand once again, whether this is good to use this particular tool for, or maybe there's another one that is more accurate and better in the particular instance that you're working with, and to know when to use it and when not to use it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, these are a lot of takeaways. So basically at my end, some of my takeaways is here. Yes, the Gen AI is there for us, but we need to make sure that this is a tool to help us be successful. We humans should be there still. It's not just like, okay, give me this, give me that, and whatever Gen AI will tell me, I'll follow. Remember that story that one of the teenagers were asking, depressed? Can you tell us about that story, Zarah, about the kid who was asking advice because he was suicidal or depressed?
Yes, and unfortunately, there are a couple of lawsuits against ChatGPT right now.
There you go.
For that are brought by the parents of ChatGPT, encouraging these teenagers that had sought advice from ChatGPT to commit suicide, and they actually did. And it's very sad. You should never ever use it as your one and all counselor for things, particularly when it concerns mental health.
That's right. That's a big deal. Thank you
Yes.
for mentioning that. Because some people, they're just into ChatGPT, into just Gen AI, whatever it is, whatever type they use, and they really believe in it.
Well, it sounds authoritative. It also sounds very conversational.
Yeah.
It acts like your buddy. It wants to please you.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to draw the line and understand it is just predicting the next potential word in a series. And it's not got any actual real analysis behind it. It can mimic people, it can mimic emotions, but it doesn't have any concept about what that is.
That is true. And I agree with that because I experienced that. So there's one experience that I had. I asked Copilot, ChatGPT, both of them. I asked to do an infographics, visual infographics, like a flyer. But they could not even spell the word. So I asked them 3 times, can you change the spelling from this to that? They could not change it. So I end up not using the infographics because they could not get the right spelling.
Yes. I've had that problem too, and I've told it, when I tell it to please remove all the words from the image, all it does is give me more words. and some of them are spelled right and some of them are not. And it gets very, very frustrating.
So this is a lot of takeaways for us today and
Yes.
for our community. So this is basically, we brought here Dr. Sierra to teach us what are the things that we could do in our day-to-day lives. So for the common takeaways that I have in here that I was writing, what she was reading, or was expressing the thoughts. So we have to make sure that Gen AI is there for us, but we need to make sure that we would decipher. We have to make sure that we would review the facts, what are the truth and not the truth, because there are a lot of hallucinations in Gen AI. Another thing is she was particular with the privacy, the accuracy, of course, the transparency as well. So we have to be careful for those, especially that is coming with the law. There's a lot of things going now about this Gen AI. So we have to be aware and we have to be educated. So we cannot blindside everyone at this time. It is there. It is open for everyone, but it's up to you and me to decipher what is good and what is bad. So that means that no matter how good ChatGPT is, any of this Gen AI, we humans should be there still to decipher all the things that's coming up to our way. Agree? Mm-hmm. Is there
Most
any
definitely.
other additional wisdom words that you would say, Ms. Sierra, because we are running out of time?
I would say that it is a great tool. Emphasis on being a tool. It's not the be all end all. Do not take it at its word,
Yeah.
because its word is not necessarily trustworthy. But learn how to use it in areas where it can be very helpful and time saving
Yeah.
to you.
Yep.
Because it does have that capacity, but we have to know going in that it does have some issues and that we do have to be there to make sure that it maintains accuracy and
Yeah.
it is trustworthy. And when it's not, that's when we need to step in and make sure that the right information is there. Fact checking, it's time consuming, but it's important to do.
Yeah. Fact checking
Yes.
is the term, I guess. I
Yes.
love that one.
Use
and
it
of course,
wisely.
that's right. Use it wisely. Is there anything else you want to add, Miss
Oh.
Marilou?
Yeah, that is very informative, and also really a realization. This is AI technologies. Use it wisely, safely, personally, and also our workplaces
Yeah.
and in our community. So great information, very great topic, and we appreciate you sharing that with us today.
That's right.
Thank
It
you for
makes
having
us-
me.
Yeah, it makes us more knowledgeable now, right?
Yes.
And empowering, you
Yes.
know, because we need to know this. We need to educate ourselves. And of course, we're also educating the community. Isn't it? That's our mission in AAPI, Ms. President.
Yes, it is a community service, community information,
Yeah.
empowering nurses, and also providing all this great information so we can be healthy, use
Yeah.
it in daily lives, and
Yeah.
then in our everyday life as well, right?
Yeah, that's good. So everybody's again having fun, I think, but our time is up. So I would like to ask, is there anything else that you wanted to plug for our
Oh.
upcoming event? Ms.
I'm happy
President?
to. Yes, I'm happy to. Thank you. And we're very excited. The AAPINA of Nevada kick off for 2026. Our first community event is a blanket tribe.
Yeah.
Warming hearts one blanket at a time. So
Okay.
we are collecting gently used or new blanket. We have a 3 drop application. One is at Siena Campus St. Rose Hospital.
Okay.
One is at San Martin Campus St. Rose Hospital, and also Nevada State University.
Yeah.
And we have a flyer distributing right now, and all those information. In addition to that, once we collected all our blankets, we are going to distribute the blanket and the clothing collected on January 19, MLK Day,
Yes.
at G Street, and we're also providing a free meal service for those in needs in our community.
Wow.
So if you can join us, please contact us, AAPINA, any officer, Marilou Williams at 702-545-5723, Dr. Zarah Borines, and Nevada State University, and then Jose Caballas at San Martin campus. Thank you so
Right.
much.
That's great. So now we are not only educating our people, we are helping our community. So our first mission is to have a food and blanket drive. So that is really great. So we are having a good time in here, but it's time for us to close the episode of our Wellness Waves with AAPINA of Nevada. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat po. Daghang salamat. Damo na salamat. Muchos gracias. Thank you for being with us for this special episode with GenAI. It is an honor to learn from our expert, Dr. Adare-Tasiwoopa Ape, and of course, our Miss President of AAPINA, Miss Marilou Williams. Stay safe, be healthy, do your self-care until we meet again as we drive within the wellness waves of AAPINA of Nevada with PHLV Radio, the only Filipino experience here in Las Vegas, USA, and in the Philippines, and of course, across the universe. So thank you so much. This is Zarah Borines signing off. Bye, everyone.